ones who came before you experienced a lot of suffering, a lot of pain, and depending on your race, your background, your ethnicity, the level of suffering is going to be different for each person. But your bloodline specifically, they suffer. They went through a lot. And the same tests that you face today are the same tests that were thrown at your ancestors and the ones that came before you. No matter what it is, any type of addictions that you may be facing now, any type of hardships, even some of the people that you have dealt with in your life, those energies that you have dealt with, those karmic people, even the good people, even the soulmates, those people, those energies are familiar energies for a reason, which is why they serve such a big purpose in your life and where you're supposed to go. Your ancestors went through the same thing. They dealt with karmics, they dealt with soulmates, they dealt with addictions, they dealt with adversities. And they were a lot similar to what you have gone through. And the difference is they were not able to fight off these energies that were coming against them. They weren't able to complete their mission and break these generational curses. They weren't able to do it. And there's a lot of different reasons why. Once they got word that you were coming, that's when they knew that you were going to be the one to break these generational curses. They knew based off your energy that you were going to be the one, and they all decided to come together to make sure they help you get to where you're supposed to go. For those of you who do believe in your ancestors or feel like you have some type of relationship with them, they assist the Most High. It's like having a spirit team, angels and ancestors, spirit guides, things like that. They assist God. They assist the Most High to help you. Yes, they got to go through him. They got to get permission to step in at certain times, but they are there to help you. And they know that you were the one picked to help your bloodline break these curses that you are breaking right now. A lot of you are breaking curses when it comes to love. A lot of you have came from broken homes. You have experienced bad relationships. You experienced home environments where either the dad or the mom wasn't present. Some of you were even born into foster care, or you had to live with a relative. And that's a cycle that continued on and on and on. And you may feel like you're never going to get that love story. You're never going to get that home that you're craving, that family that you're craving, because the ones that came before you weren't able to get it. But the truth is, that is something that you are going to obtain in this life. Let this be your confirmation. You are going to obtain that family and that home life that you are seeking. And the reason for that is all your ancestors and the people that came before you, they wanted that too. But when it came down to making changes and healing and growing as a person so that you can not only have that home and that family dynamic, keep it. Because a lot of people have or had those things, but they weren't able to keep it. You're going to be able to keep it because you have passed your test. You have healed in the areas that you need to, or you are healing the areas that you need to. You are just different. So I said when they got word about you, they knew, because they can tell your energy is just different. Something about you is just completely different. Some of you faced addictions, and addictions could be, we could go down the list. It could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be sex, it could be so many different things. Some of you may even be addicted to pain. There are people who are addicted to pain and suffering because it's all they've known. And you feel that way because there's people in your past who also had that same experience. And you feel that that energy in that blood of your ancestors running through you. Women carry all of our eggs with us when we're born. So your mother, when she was born, she was carrying you, and so on and so on and so on. So you have to know that generational blood and energy runs extremely deep. Generational trauma is real. Whatever your mother went through and her mother went through and their mother went through, y'all all went through that together because you were carried inside of each other since day one. And for those of you who are suffering from those addictions, wherever they may be, you may not even be perfect yet. You may not have completely quit cold turkey, but just know that day is going to come because you were born to be able to do that. You came here to do that. You were chosen and picked to be able to do that. And that's exactly what you're going to do, and you're going to continue to do. And for those of you who have beat your addictions, no matter what they are, I'm proud of you. And know that was not for no reason. You didn't go through everything you went through just because someone wanted you just to suffer. It was because in your bloodline, this was an addiction that was destroying your bloodline. And the only way to empower your bloodline and fight these generational curses was for you to go through what you went through so you could break these addictions and these bad habits. So I can give many different examples, but I said all that to say, you are the one that your bloodline has been waiting for. They have been waiting for this moment for so long. Like some of y'all, hundreds of years, thousands of years. Some of y'all don't understand how far and deep that your lineage runs. Some of y'all don't even know. And for those of you who do know, you may even keep it private to you because it's extremely important to you and you nurture that. You really value that. That means something to you. And understand that the way you value and nurture your lineage and your bloodline and your ancestors, they feel the exact same way about you. They don't play about you. Okay? They do not play about you. They're going to step on somebody for you every single time. Even if you forgive somebody, your ancestors might not have forgiven them. And they're going to go to bat for you, especially, and I can relate to this so much, especially for my ones, my lone wolves, my popular loners, my people who just, you never really had people around you, and the people you had around you were unsupportive and weren't really for you. The ones who always felt lonely in this world, y'all's ancestors, y'all's spirit team is so huge. It's so huge. And every energy, every person that you feel like you lost or you missed out on or you didn't have around you because you feel like you were always alone and singled out, that's covered. That's covered because you have energies on the other side that watch over you and truly protect you for real. I used to always say to people, and people never understood it. I used to always tell people, I'm good everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. And I said that because through this life, I've had people around me. I've had friends and family and so forth, but I've never truly had anyone who was really for me, and I knew that. And I also knew, and I could just feel like the presence of like protection, like somebody was there protecting me or some bodies were there protecting me. So I always say I'm good everywhere I go because I've seen in this lifetime what happens when people intentionally try to inflict harm onto me or anybody that I love, especially my child. It's never going to end well for them, ever. It's not something I pray for. I don't pray to God that he hurts my enemies or the opposition. I don't have to. But from my experience and the patterns I recognize, when people intentionally try to harm me in any way, because it has happened, and I know you guys can relate to that, when you are one of God's people, they're going to try to target you all the time for absolutely no reason. And unfortunately for those people, they F around and they got to find out. And that's just something I noticed, which is why I always say I'm good everywhere I go. And I also like to say that people who try to come up against me, y'all can have families around you. Y'all can have cities around you. I don't care who is standing behind you. I have a whole entire army standing behind me. So I'm never worried. I'm never scared. I'm never afraid. So I don't know who needs to hear that, but remember that you're always good everywhere you go. They cannot touch you. You're untouchable. And that is why I said that your ancestors, your spirit team, your bloodline, they don't play about you, because you have a big mission. Like, can you imagine waiting thousands of years, hundreds of years for someone in the bloodline to come along and help break this cycle and free your ancestors from chains and break these generational curses so they can ascend along with you? Because when you ascend, so does your bloodline. They ascend with you. You know, can you imagine waiting that long? And then that person comes, that person's born. Of course, your ancestors know that you're going to face adversities, because that's a part of building your character and helping you become someone who can break these curses. But I feel like that's what makes them, that fuels them and makes them more angry, because they don't have time for that. It's unnecessary things that happen, unnecessary things that come along the way. People just targeting you constantly. They've been waiting for you for so long, and people trying to stop you and distract you and hinder you from moving forward and breaking these curses. Like, they're trying to get these, they know it's divine timing, but they're there to assist you and help you get these things done. And people try to come up against you and try to harm you. Oh yeah, they're getting stepped on. That's just what it is. Okay, that's just what it is. You're too valuable. You're too important. Okay, and I know now everyone wants to call themselves chosen. That doesn't matter to me. I don't care who calls himself chosen. Time will tell. We're gonna see who is and who isn't, and it's not a competition. If you feel like you're chosen, you're chosen. You're chosen for something. You're chosen for some great mission in this life. You're allowed to feel like that. We were chosen. Yes, our bloodline has been waiting for us. Yes, we done been through a lot, but we are going to gain every single thing that we lost, and it's only a matter of time. And because you have done what you're supposed to do to break these curses, it's going to be handed to you on a silver platter.